So now that we're retired and we're 4 years in, the issue is a lot of people haven't been able to land. They're still out here fluttering around and their head is spinning because to wrap your mind around this major decision that you've made and then have to deal with the aloneness of it because the whole country was still shut down. There are a lot of people who have not recovered. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, 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 hello. Come on in the room. Hey, stop scrolling. Come on in the room. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Retire and Thrive show. I'm Chauntelle, and I have been navigating the waters of retirement for the past 4 years. And let me tell you, it's been an adventure, and not a bad adventure. It's been interesting, but it's been an adventure. I'm here to help you do more than just survive in retirement. I'm here to help you thrive on your journey. Now, before we jump into today's topic, I want to share something that really changed my view of retirement. I remember thinking that once I stopped working, I'd have all this free time to just relax. And to be honest with you, I really didn't know how tired I was after working, day in, day out, week in, week out, having that routine, and you're exhausted. You really don't realize how tired your body was and how much rest you needed. So if you just retired and you're like, why am I sleeping so much? Well, it's okay. Your body is rejuvenating itself. But if you've been retired now over a year, if you don't get up off that couch and get out that bed and put on some clothes, I know it's peoply out there, but you're going to put on some clothes and get out that door. All right. You have to do it every day, but at least 3 times a week, get out that door. All right. But pretty soon, after my body had rejuvenated, I started feeling a little restless, and some of you may be feeling the same way. And I realized something. Our minds are like computers. And I know you've heard this before. If you don't keep them engaged, they start to slow down. And no one wants to work on a slow computer. Am I right? You don't like a slow computer. So just because we're retired doesn't mean we have to stop growing. It doesn't mean we have to stop learning or trying new things. In fact, this is the time we get to focus on our passions. We didn't have time for while we were working. Hobbies are just like fuel for both the mind and the body, keeping you sharp and excited about life. So before we really dig deep into the good stuff for today's topic, I want to say something to you. You listening? Have you subscribed to the channel? No, no? Oh, well, smash the subscribe button now. Go ahead and do it. And while you're there, smash the like button. I need you all. I need you. You need me. We're a part of a family. Okay, maybe I shouldn't sing, huh? All right, guys, listen. Just go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Make sure you hit that like button and do something else for me. If this channel is being a blessing to you, if you are finding benefit from our channel, please share it with others because there's not a lot of conversation out there talking about retirement. Whether you're getting ready to retire, you're dreaming of this, and you're like, I'm retiring soon, I'm up out of here. No matter what your age is, share it with others because I didn't know all this information that I'm starting to share with all of you all until I retired. Why are we finding out all this stuff after retirement? Now, I do understand that when I retired, it wasn't the most conventional way of retirement. For those of you all that this is your first time seeing me, when I retired like many of you during the pandemic. And in that time, there wasn't a whole lot of time to talk about or find out information about retirement. Like on my job, when we retired, we had just been furloughed They had just called us back because the government had given all the companies the PPE or PPL or whatever that stuff was. So they hired us back on. And then in the month of January, I found out that I'm going back on reserve. Well, guys, I hadn't been on reserve in years. So that right there was going to be a culture shock. And then they changed the way our reserve system was. And oh, did I even tell you what I used to do? I didn't, did I? I used to be a flight attendant. And whenever you're a flight attendant, if you are a line holder, you pretty much you can pretty much dictate your own schedule. But I was going back on reserve, which means that whatever trips needed coverage, I would have to cover. I hadn't been on reserve in a long time, and just getting back into that headspace, I was already reeling and knew I was like, I just don't even want to do this. And then because we had merged as a company and they changed the way the reserve system operated, I knew I was in for a ride. I just knew that I was in for a ride and I didn't want to go on this ride. It was one of those roller coaster rides that you really knew you should not be on. So to make a long story short, the company offers a retirement and they offered a very nice severance package, one that I had in my prayers 2 years earlier. I remember saying, Father, I want to retire, but what on earth am I going to do? As a topped out flight attendant, it's nothing for a topped out flight attendant to be making six figures. So what else am I going to do that's going to allow me to make six figures? I knew I wasn't going to be able to start anything right out the gate and make six figures. So y'all, I decided, I was like, well, okay, one thing I know I could do is go sell homes. So I was living in New Jersey and I got my I started my journey onto getting my real estate license. Halfway through the classes, I knew that wasn't for me. I'm not that type of a person where I'm not I'm not a salesman. I just don't know how to do sales. And I think that you have to be a pretty good salesperson in order to do real estate. So I knew that that wasn't what I was going to do, but at the same time, I didn't know all this stuff was getting ready to come down the pipe. So this was in the summer of 2020. It was in the summer of 2020 that I took my real estate. I was taking the real estate courses. We finished the courses. Now all I had to do was take the test. We get furloughed and then we get rehired a couple of months later. And now the company sends out this letter that we're offering the retirement and the money that we told you all we weren't going to ever give you all. Now we're offering it to you. Well, I would be a fool not to take that money and run. And we got to stay on the books, paying our insurance at the prices as if we were still working employees. We were on the books. However, we were retired, but we were inactive. All right, I know it's kind of convoluted, but hey, it worked for all of us, all of the thousands of us that took the retirement plan. So then you jump into this world that you had no idea, you had given no real thought to, you had put no research in because you weren't getting ready to retire anytime soon. It was just something that you wanted to do. So I'm talking to you from the standpoint of one who has retired. We didn't retire conventionally. So for some of you all, you might be saying, well, those were things that we already discussed. Our human resources discussed that with us. However, there is a large group of us that we retired in the middle of a pandemic. We didn't know if our companies were going to make it. We didn't know what was going to happen next. We didn't know if we were coming or going. All we knew is that our life that we knew it was gone. And we didn't even know if it was ever going to come back the way that we had once operated. And as you can see, it hasn't. So there's life before the pandemic, and then there's life after the pandemic. So now that we're retired and we're 4 years in, the issue is a lot of people haven't been able to land. They're still out here fluttering around and their head is spinning because to wrap your mind around this major decision that you've made and then have to deal with the aloneness of it because the whole country was still shut down. There are a lot of people who have not recovered, and that's why I created this channel to help you recover. All right. So if I was able to recover, I know that I'm not alone. There are others out there who were able to recover, and we're going to help each other recover so that we can all thrive. So after all that long talk, smash the subscribe button. You hear me? All right. So, before we get in, let me tell you about our guest that's coming up at the end of the month. Oh, I'm so excited. All right. So she is a special woman to me. We were like flight attendant buddies. I loved her company. We just really had a lot of fun. We flew flights together. And she's going to be talking about retirement that was forced due to a disability. Some of you all are still in the throes, in the anger, in the disappointment, some even the depression of having to retire because of a disability. I'm going to let her tell her story. It is a mind-blowing story. She's going to tell you about how she had to have some come to Jesus moments so that she could get herself together and begin to walk this road of forced retirement. Oh, that's a whole different topic right there. There's people who retired and we wanted to, and there were people who retired and they had no say in it. So I want to talk to you. If you know anyone who had to retire because of a disability, or they were forced to retire for some other reason, for whatever the reason was, it was not a decision that they made on their own. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Make sure they know, get into contact with this channel and be ready because that interview is coming up and I know you are going to find a blessing. And if you're struggling, I promise you, you're going to see a light at the end of the tunnel. All right. Are you ready to explore today's topic? Well, good. Let's go ahead and dive in. Today's topic is, you ready? Hobbies. I know you really thought it was going to be something really, really big, huh? Hobbies. Hobbies. One of the biggest keys to thriving in retirement is finding something that you're passionate about. Maybe it's something you never even tried before. It's okay. We have the time now. We can start those new things. Retirement is the perfect time to dive into the passions we didn't have time to do while we were working. Do you have a desire to paint, but you never picked up the paintbrush? Now's your chance. Maybe it's learning a new language or bird watching. Who would have ever thunk bird watching? But somebody out there loves to watch the birds. Make it your hobby. Or even learning a musical instrument. The point is, we don't stop learning. It's time for us to what? To explore. Explore and flesh out those passions that you've had. You don't have to be perfect at it. Just give yourself permission to try. The joy is in the process, not the perfection. You might be surprised by how much fun it is for you to get out of your comfort zone. Did you know that hobbies aren't just for fun? They are a huge boost for your mental health. When you engage in a new activity, you're not only fighting off boredom, you're improving your brain's cognitive skills. Learning something new, and I know at this stage of the game, a lot of us might say you can't teach an old dog a new trick, but listen, learning something new literally helps your brain stay young. Plus, It gives you something to look forward to instead of just filling your days with mindless stuff. How much of, well, I better not say a company because they might try to ban me, but how much binge watching can you do? How much busy work can you do? You have to find things that are enriching your day. And let me tell you, when you're excited about what's next, it changes your whole outlook on this journey of retirement. It's very important that as retired people, one of the major things that I hear that we're lacking is social connections. Did you know that social connections can be easily formed through hobbies? Hobbies can open the door to new friendships, new adventures, new thrills. You might think I'm too old to make new friends, but I'm here to tell you that's not true. One of my most enriching friendships has been formed within the past year. I think we were just talking about it. It was about a year and a half ago when we met and we connected. And it's been such a beautiful journey. Who would have ever thought that I would be growing a new friendship at this stage of the journey? So, whether you join a local painting class, a bird watching class, you start attending a new language class, or even if you connect with people online who share your passions, hobbies naturally lead to social interaction. And let's be honest, we all need people who we can share life with. It's amazing how much connection can come from something as simple as a shared interest. So here's the deal. Retirement isn't the end, it's actually the beginning. It's the perfect time to dive into new passions, new hobbies, and to rediscover what lights you up, what brings you joy. Whether it's painting, bird watching, gardening, starting a new course study. Hey, you may even want to go finish your degree program. Depending on your age and the state you live in, you may be able to do this at a considerable discount. Or try something you've never done before. I challenge you, take the first step today. Don't wait until next week. Don't wait until next month. Take the first step. And you may be saying, well, how do I do that? How do I take the first step? Well, what is it that you want to do? Write it down on a piece of paper. Put it in the comments. What passion do you have? What is there a class you want to take? What's your favorite hobby? And then as you look at that over, what jumps out at you? After you've written that out on a piece of paper, what jumps out at you? It may be something that you started when you were just starting college and you said, one day I'm going to do this. And life happens and work happens and you never got around to your passion. Now you have the time. You can pick that passion back up and get started on it. That's what I had to do. Let's get started together. I know you've got this. Put it in the comments. What is your passion? What are the hobbies that you like? You never know. Somebody that may be close to you likes those same hobbies, and now y'all can go out and do that together. See? Come on here now. So thank you so much for tuning in to the Retire and Thrive show. Be sure to subscribe, join in on the conversation. Until next time, keep thriving and keep discovering new joys in retirement. I'll see y'all next time, guys. Bye.